So no complaints there at all. Now we just need a Luful to get another one. We're all good.
Yep. So what is the second battleground here for this very interesting series already? CE at the brink of getting those points back. It is Dragonshire, and the battleground was chosen by CE. That means TeamNut went for first pick, first ban.
They did. Can TeamNut even up the score? They're looking better than last series they played against CE.
That is correct.
But you can look better all you like. Doesn't mean you're going to get any points.
All right. So here the teams are getting deployed. Now, I wonder if CE is going to ban the Genji again, or if they're willing to let it go through. They have banned it every single time we've seen them today, and yesterday, and the day before.
Yeah, they hate Genji. Do they hate Genji enough? I expect probably so.
Oh!
Nah, Genji goes through. Nut. Do you like Genji?
No has a really wicked Genji at his disposal.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to play that Zul'jin again.
They're hesitating. I don't think they expected this to happen. I mean, the Urel is obviously a menace, and CE are starting to realize this more. KTY is probably at the point of, guys, this hero is really good. And with Urel gone, Dahaka makes sense, so CE can inferior. I mean, I would quite let him just go for Genji and Mouth, or Genji and Mouth. Genji and Mouth or Genji and Mouth.
So the thing is, I can kind of understand this ban on Irel, on Dragonshire in particular, right? Because next to Braxis, I would say Dragonshire is probably that one game, that one battleground in which laning and controlling, dominating your lane is the most important. Because basically that means you're going to maintain Shrine Control. And with Shrine Control, obviously you can work a lot better working around the map, maybe unlock Dragon Knight early. Here goes the Phoenix for Luful, most likely. So no Genji prioritization at all.
At least not yet. How peculiar. These teams don't prioritize it. TeamNut can now do so. You already mentioned that no, very solid on the hero, so we might end up seeing that slip its way in.
I would love to see that, to be honest. I think Genji in general is very good against Phoenix, especially if he goes for that Shuriken build and the Shin Gun at level 13. Phoenix has a pretty massive hitbox, so if you land those 3 Shurikens on the same target, you're going to deal an absurd amount of extra damage. So, could definitely see that. Garage, though. Oh, I never noticed that the Chinese voiceover for Lord Taragar is also Lord Taragar. It sounded pretty cool.
Which is strange, because the Battle for Azeroth announcement was, or the trailer, was a different shout for the Horde, so I assumed it would have been translated.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, it's probably Orcish, right? So the Orcish words remain Orcish, and the English words for the Horde get translated.
That's true. I can't. I'm trying to remember what those words were now. The thing Savannah shouted.
Wayla Bula.
Wayla Bula. Yeah, that's it.
I do not speak Mandarin, so please accept my apologies. But
oh yeah, our pronunciation's garbage.
That's what they say. And it's actually confirmed as well, because in the Echoes of Alterac trailer, they say the same thing.
Nice.
And for the Alliance, I think it was like Whaler Enma? I really can't pronounce it. My apologies, but it's something along those lines. Whaler Enma.
Yeah, makes sense indeed. So, really, like, obviously, it's cool to learn things that you know in another language.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't even get our English together.
That's true.
Do you think there's any person out there that speaks Orcish or knows, like, made up like an Orcish dictionary? Because, you know, there's other universes where they actually come up with a fictional language.
That's true.
That would actually be a cool thing for Blizzard to release, like a dictionary in Orcish, Night Elven.
Yeah, like we need to ask if there is like a cheat sheet for Orcish. Yeah.
And you know, Blizzard has this huge library of lore where they keep all their stuff in. So maybe they actually have like an inbuilt grammar or a dictionary for their fictional languages.
Indeed. I mean, there is obviously the translation of basically when you say words again around another faction and they hear the other stuff.
Yep. That is actually correct.
So there's that.
And you would have this one pesky person just constantly screaming in the main capital something in their own language and translate it into the target language, so you would get annoyed by these messages, and you would actually hunt that person down. Good times in Orgrimmar.
Good times. Well then, with Malthael on the board, the Mouth coming in, which adds lots more slows for the Phoenix, so already a solid start for CE. TeamNut, they did get their Genji, they now need support for it. Decade is still left available. And they're going to go with Karazi, more aggressive style today.
I was going to say I wouldn't have hated an Uther with that Genji, to be honest. I think Uther would have been really good to potentially also protect against a Lost Rites if Divine Shield, for example, goes through. But Divine Palm is actually the much more cost-efficient tool, right? It has a lower cooldown, it has lower mana cost, and it's just as easy to time. So Kharazim, I think, makes a lot of sense as well, and Kharazim in particular is a little bit more flexible in terms of playstyles, right? You can actually use him aggressively if you want to collapse on someone like Phoenix. So I don't hate the pick, to be honest.
And Juyu gets his Greymane. Going back to an old classic here.
Yeah. The question is, can Kharazim keep the Genji alive? That is sometimes...
I have been sent an Orcish primer with translations. That was pretty quick. Hang on, who sent me that? Oh god. Pinzel Orcator. I apologize for butchering your name. Thanks for the Orcish dialect.
That is amazing.
Thanks? Control F. Thanks. Nope, there is no translation for thanks. How has this happened?
All right, Teacher, which draft do you prefer? Who do you think has what it takes? Is it the Kharazim as a last-second save against Last Rites and Curse Bullet and Greymane Burst Damage, for example? Or do you think it's the more aggressive route coming in from CE that is going to take the cake? What is your take on it?
I think the safer, more standard draft of CE leans. I lean that way. Although I'm not as big of a fan of the Greymane as I am of the Junkrat these days. I think Junkrat has more impact potential.
Yeah.
But I think they have enough damage and enough slows to set up for good last rites, and that's probably going to be a victory condition.
Yeah, Julia played Greymane earlier today, and he was absolutely ripping things apart on that hero. So the question is, can he do it again, or are the nuts going to show him how it's done properly? As we go into the map number 2 here, which is going to be Dragonshire this time around, hanging out fishing. I love these intros from the Observer. Well done. Yeah. And we see CE on the left-hand side in the blue trunks with Alufal on that Phoenix. Once again, Wind is playing Muradin, 365 on the Malfurion, KTY and Malthael, and Juyu on said Greymane.
And on the right-hand side, looking to recover some points, it's TeamNut with No on Genji, FS on Garrosh, Faye on Dahaka, Oasis on Junkrat, and Atui bringing out the Kharazim.
Now, Atui, as we said, he was labeled MVP several times now. He has had a pretty insane play day. Now, the question is, can he do it again on that Kharazim? A very challenging hero to make work efficiently, especially in pro play. Very challenging mechanically. You have to have immaculate timing if you go for the Divine Palm. And against a very bursty team like CE has here, it's not always the easiest thing to drop that Palm in time. Let's see what they're up to. No on that Genji's also a super good menace. Super strong. Wouldn't want to play against him.
Go for it. Extra round timers coming in for the Junkrat at level 1 for Oasis. Very interesting. Not the put you some English on it. This is better for area control, but not as good for poke.
Yeah. Short poke here by Atui, dashing over to KTY, but immediately spreading out here from his E. And let's actually double check on the lanes. Dahaka has now found his way to the top lane. Malthael immediately going there as well. 25 seconds until the shrines are active. And TeamNut going for the Siege Giant Camp, whereas CE prioritizes the Bruiser. I'm usually a fan of activating the Bruiser a little earlier, because they take a little longer. But by the same token, if you open your bottom half just like that, you're going to risk 4 Siege Giant coming right at you. Juyu in trouble. I don't think he's going to escape there.
So many hits. Yeah, he gets completely taken out. And the Junkrat mine completely disengages them. Yeah. Nicely done.
Even the Haka joined the fray here. Actually, though, the Warriors are taking a lot of damage from KTY. And despite losing a hero early, I think they could actually turn it around and score evenly here. Well done here. It took the Haka to join, but hey, if you get the kill and if you secure a mercenary camp, this is all worth it.
Yeah, nice job by CE. Even after losing the first kill, they're able to turn it back around, grabbing their own camp. It's all good. Well done, as Node pokes a lot of damage into a lethal. You see that Arsenal synergy, though, just how much damage you can do if it's not deflected.
For a moment, I thought the distraction made by Phoenix actually was enough to allow Zhui to channel the Dragon Knight. And they might actually get it now. Muradin keeping it. Genji was low in HP, actually had to go and heal. Now Malphite is even protecting the Greymane as well. There was nothing No could have done. He didn't even have the healing fountain ready, it seems. So early Dragon Knight, early pretty much demanding or commanding lead here for CE. I like it. Already one level ahead of their opponents.
Yeah, they're in a pretty significant position. We're seeing Indomitable drop very early, still eats a Stormbolt, but no one in position to follow up, so not so bad as Garrosh is able to rotate back round to his team. Dragon Knight just continues to punt away Junkrat as often as possible, removing any damage to that Dragon Knight so they can get the maximum value, already down to 49% health with 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, he's now basically punting the Junkrat away, and with that successful kick, I think he's going to have enough damage now to take down the first board of the game. KTY is in trouble, trying to juke a Swift Strike, and he does so successfully. Nice play.
What a god. What a god. He dodged the tongue, then the Swift Strike. Now Nose in danger. Stun lands. Now FaZe in danger as well. KTY could in theory come out and start getting some of those dire lone procs off on FaZe. But instead, he's pretty happy to just have his lane survive.
Exactly. The lane lives for now. Malphite lives as well. And CE basically maintains their major lead in this game. Up to this point, they're taking another mercenary camp. Lethal, of course, and Greymane are excellent in taking those. And with Wind playing so protectively here, I think FS on the Garrosh, he knows exactly what's up, but he arrives just a tad bit too late. Even the Haka joining the fray here. I'm not sure if TeamNut can do this, Tetcher.
They're trying to wait forwards. The health bars are low, but they get a good surround onto Muradin, picking up the kill. But now they need to back up as KTY shows up, and once again, this is familiar, gets the counter kill.
Gets the counter kill after some reckless body blocking by the Muradin, which basically spelled disaster for him. Cheeky Hearthstone there in front of the enemy team's prying eyes. A beautiful deflect by Nut, no, allowing him to escape the fangs of Greymane. That needs good reaction speed, man. You really have to have nerves of steel to basically play it like that. Well done.
Yeah, and finally, a level and a half later, level 7 is hit by TeamNut, and they're going to try and use it to pick up another kill, and the Tui uses a minion to escape. Great use of the level 7s.
Yeah, basically, I mean, both teams are actually playing very well from a mechanical point of view. I think it's more like CE just out-macroing and out-rotating their opponents for this almost 2-level lead here. So, it's like Nut definitely has the player material to make this work. Speaking of player material, holy cow. No even used the Swift Strike here to get there in the first place, so he might end up falling. He doesn't back down in time.
Takes a nice agile dismount there, getting himself way out of danger.
Yeah.
They don't want any of that. Siege Giant, already significantly weakened, will be heading into the lane anyway, as Dahaka begins making his way up to top lane.
Can he arrive there in time? And most importantly, can he actually battle and duel the Malphite, which has already postured himself up that top shrine? Even Phoenix, lurking there behind, but Faye has good vision, and that's all she wrote. Another easy peasy Dragon Knight. This time taken by Malfurion, simply because of, I think they needed to make this super quickly. Otherwise, they probably would have gotten interrupted with a channel. But, of course, keep in mind, Tetcher, the support in the Dragon Knight. That means no sustain, no protection. They need to be very careful on how deep they want to dive.
They tried diving a little bit onto the Bridge of Death, so much so, but Faye, just too much sustain. He did have all of his essence available, so he heals through the majority of that damage, makes it across the Bridge of Death. But it's still a fort. This was the main objective this entire time here. First bullet not landing, but the Stormbolt did, so another stack is acquired, but it was blocked by Indomitable. It was just a stack.
Just the stack. Now, can they get more towers in the middle? Two people chasing down on KTY. Swift Strike dodged again!
Oh my
KTY,
god.
how do you do it? You gotta be kidding me.
Ungankable is what he is. I'm expecting to see it dead very quickly upon my screen. Blue team hero killed. I will wait for that to appear just for the jinx sake. Like, look at them, they're still there. They're waiting for him. Genji runs away. Karasine ports back, and KTY again survives the gank long enough that everyone leaves.
Whoa, Tetra Karzik not even bothering going for a Divine Palm against the last rites. He goes for 7-sided strike. And I think this is probably mainly due to the fact that they really want to punish that Muradin. Because Wind up to this point has been doing whatever he wanted to do. He's been going in deep, he's been pretty reckless. And with the 7-sided strike, now he has to play a little more carefully, doesn't he?
Wind is going to take a couple hits here, but once again, if 7-sided strike was there, might have been able to punish him. But in this case, he's able to walk casually away.
Alright. Shrines have not been activated just yet. Roll20 Esports, by the way, on that banner. Never forget. It was a good time. There's another one. All over the place. The good NA memories.
See, cleaning up the Bruiser Cam pretty quickly. No,
another one.
Interesting. Another little trap there. Oh no, they're leaving too early. No. Oh, it was scouted anyway. Karazin.
Yeah, KTY was sensing something there. He thought, you know, there's not a whole lot of enemies that we currently see on the minimap. There must be something going on here, something fishy going on. And
so if Spidey gets a Spidey sense, what does a literal Reaper get?
Oof. I'm not sure if he can actually feel anything in the first place. Do you think Malthael has emotions? Do you think he feels a chill down his spine when something doesn't go well?
I would argue he only feels a chill.
Maybe that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, no, don't know. Wonderful question. No idea. For now, though, we are seeing this Bruiser Cam getting cleaned up as that philosophical question of does a Reaper feel crosses through our brains for the rest of the week. We see Malthael grabbing that top shrine, and they have control of mid.
Genji
and Garrosh coming in for the denial, just short. Two of the shurikens missed. Who rolls out? Isolation lands, frag, and bye. X-Strike even used for good measure. The salvo comes out, getting some great damage onto Atui, who dodges the last right. Using the 7-sided, dashes away, and their support is out of there.
So one way or the other, he could have used Divine Palm on himself. He could have used the 7-sided to escape it. A beautiful self-cleanse, if you will, to deny the stack on last rights for the Malthael. Still, as it is, a 4 versus 5, but level 13 is here. The tank shredding has begun. KTY on that Malthael. Not only is he unkillable, ungankable, but he's also indomitable and basically showing those tanks how it's done.
However, in this time, Dahaka was able to tunnel up to top lane and prevents the Dragon Knight going over to CE once again. However, Phoenix already going to rechannel that, and this will be a Dragon Knight going over to CE. As you said, TeamNut going to have to go back on the defensive here.
Now, no more force left available for TeamNut, so that could actually be a Dragon Knight that threatens a keep right away. They're trying to pick up Zhuyi once again in the Dragon Knight, in the Greymane, but they can't get him in time. Instead, though, the Siege Giant Camp remains its aggro, and as such can still be taken. Whoops, Observer. There we go. Happens to the best of us.
Slight misclick. Malfurion delivered. Iceblock immediately down. No Twilight Dream here, so they're not able to punish. He wraps back around to try and get to his team from over the wall, perhaps with a Tranquility. Instead, X-Strike, Salvo. Oh, this is going to hurt. Salvo does a lot of damage, but everyone survives it, actually. The turnaround, Riptire, gets dodged by a Luful. As he gets the teleport, we will see the drag onto Wind, but Dahaka runs out of health. FS gets Storm Bolted, and this was a really nice really nice job by TeamNut surviving this long, but overall CE comes out ahead.
This was pretty crazy. This was a full teamfight Dragon Knight. He didn't even bother split pushing or just, forcing the attention of the enemies this way. He remained in that teamfight for the entire duration, and you can actually see that the Dragon Knight is not that strong on teamfight. He was actually chasing there as well, while his backline was wide open. But then a nice punt. Dahaka dodging some of the salvo damage here. Muradin, by the way, surviving for so long with that Tranquility. Hashtag 10 armor matters. And then, of course, they clean house here with Muradin, with the damage by Luful on the Phoenix. And I'm not sure how much else they got here. Just the tower line, but 16 is already around the corner.
This does set them up for a potential keep later on. Shuriken build Genji forces a Luful to leave as fast as possible. And now they're going to begin grabbing their own Bruiser Camp. CE will likely respond in a similar fashion after they finish with this Siege Giant Camp that they have already started.
All right, then. Just when you thought you caught up and had a little bit of breathing room, there goes the 16, and yet you're going to have to start to play the catching up game once more. Now we're going to see more damage in Worgen form, if I'm actually not mistaken. A short cleave damage here for Greymane.
That is the one. Muradin getting focused. Immediate avatar here to just wade forward. Curse Bullet has already been used. Did not really land as they begin looking onto Dahaka, who is very far forward. Isolation onto Phoenix here, who moves into just melee range of Dahaka, able to get the kill.
When you're in point-blank range on the Phoenix, you just A-click. Although you can't see your opponent, the hero is still going to get the work and job done. So that was a pretty cool move. I really liked it, and yet it is another kill for CE. And without Dahaka, this defense is going to be a whole lot more difficult. And the keep, we saw that earlier from the Dragon Knight that happened a few moments ago, had already taken some damage. The Siege Giants have joined the fray. Can they take down the keep here for CE and against TeamNut? 50% health.
50% health with the Siege Giants still alive. Malfurion not healing them. He seems fairly committed and believing that his team frontlining is going to do it. Oh, it's not possible anymore. Fair enough. No. As Lufel backing up, make sure he does not get himself in trouble. As does 365, one of the most important people to stay alive. We see the keep going down, like you said, and this is enough. They're going to back up now.
Yeah, and of course, this is now an opening, right, for future Dragon Knights. And up to this point, C has managed to get every single one of them. So now, if they end up getting like a triple, quad kill, maybe even a full team wipe, and also happen to get the Dragon Knight, this could be a game-ending move right there. Look at all the map control texture. Already Malthael, with that insane mount speed thanks to On a Pale Horse, is in the top lane. Phoenix positions him in the middle lane, and that is going to be a channel. No way they can prevent that. Oh, never mind, Genji. Superior mobility.
Some way that they can prevent that, apparently, as we just found out. So now, FS looking for an opportunity. Zuyu would be a lovely target. Instead, they choose Garrosh. Seven-sided strike. They choose Muradin. The seven-sided strike is coming down. Here comes the Tranquility. 10 armor matters. Even with isolation, not enough to blow up the Malfurion. And now the turnaround onto FS on that Garrosh. They focus him down. Zuyu with huge damage output, but they can't get him. Even the Salmon doesn't latch. Zuyu tries to sneak away. X-Strike from No gets great damage output. Now he's looking for a Lufel. Finishes him off as well. No is popping off. Looking for 365. Dashes through the two backliners here. Where is the last price? It's already been used. And we see a Tui tanking through this. They have to dash out. Beautiful route by Malfurion. I think he just won his team to fight just by himself there.
And there goes kill number 2. Muradin plus Malthael. The double M feels pretty good, man. Actually dodging and predicting the tongue by Dahaka there as well. CE is completely out of control. Here goes the self-cleanse. You don't want to get caught now if you're KTY. And I wonder if they're actually going to get the Dragon Knight off this, because still 27 seconds until Dahaka comes back, 20 until the Genji makes his way back into the fight.
You mentioned the triple M composition.
The triple M, even. You're totally right. Malfurion was there as well.
They did such a good job on that. That route from Malfurion, they very nearly picked up 4 kills from that. Even the kills they got were spectacular and all down to that. Really nicely played.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Now Malfurion going in onto that shrine. I'm not sure how much vision he has. Jumps over the wall. Interesting there as well. Okay. 365 is playing a dangerous game here. I don't think you should be that much into the shrine unless you have good vision on the tanks, right? Like on this Dahaka, for example, he tries to burrow in.
Uh-oh, last rights. Ah, okay. He's intargetable for like a split second, for like a second or two while he's in burrow.
Technically speaking, Dahaka isn't on the map, right? So the last rights couldn't go up.
That's good to know. Very nicely done. As Wind comes in, double stun, looking for more. 7-sided, blocks a lot of damage. Is going to give Karasim the chance to leave into the fray, and he's out. Riptide, a bit less value there.
Yeah, one person should take the shrine immediately. Dahaka, they saw him pass by the mercenaries, so they know that he's coming. They know that he's trying to get the bottom back. Phoenix guarding the Malthael a little bit on the minimap just in case TeamNut were to fight over it. And Juyu, I think he may just very well get it. That is bad news for TeamNut. Can they hold it? Can they defend? Keep in mind, guys, the bottom keep had already been destroyed. Now, Juyu, be careful. Don't take unnecessary damage on the Dragon Knight unless your team members are there to support you.
Yeah, he goes through the minion wave, grabbing it for experience. They're not level 20 yet, is the issue.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit risky for them to go in for core right now. Looks like the Dragon Knight is heading in that direction, though, while the rest of the team is just fighting everyone else. Malfurion's having some serious issues by everyone wrapping around behind him. In the meantime, the Dragon Knight, they have vision of 3 people. Dragon Knight can just right-click the core.
At this point, I really think it can, because look at Wind. He was actually zoning out his opponents as well, so they couldn't teleport back. The Dragon Knight is on the core, has right-clicked it successfully. How much damage with one auto attack? I don't think it's going to be enough unless they really commit to this Tetcher.
5%, just short of 5% per auto attack. In comes Phoenix. Salvos, reasonable. 7-sided. Mostly on Muradin. Fox the Avatar is silenced. And that is game. The damage output far too high. And CE takes the 2-0. A little bit more solid that game. Nice.